Good morning, guys. Let's go ahead and open up our quiz and go over it together. So let's start with question 1. And question 1 says, write the log equation as an exponential equation. You do not need to solve for x. So on this one, just make sure that you are not actually doing any math, like no calculations. It's just convert it and then move on with your life. I'm not even going to use my whiteboard for this one. I'm just going to say it in my head and then type it out. So this one changes to 7 to the power of 3 equals 5x minus 6. So that's exponential form. And again, we're not doing any calculating. We're not doing any solving. We're just switching the format. All right. All right. This one also, convert the following exponential equation into logarithmic form. Do not solve. So even though there's an x in the problem, we're not solving this. We're just writing it as a log. So we start with the word log. And then if you've never typed a base before, there's two options. You can hit shift and the subtraction button. It's right next to the plus sign. So shift subtracting, and look, it knocks it down below. Then you can put your base 7. Or your other option is there is a keyboard in Delta Math right here. And I'm pretty sure one of the buttons is, yep, right here, A sub n, A sub n. So that would be another way to make it a subscript. Okay, subscript is below. So superscript is above and subscript is below. So that would be another way to get it down as the base. Now you do have to type it incorrectly. Otherwise it's not formatted right and then you will get it wrong. So log base 7 of 150 equals 2x. So again, notice that the 7 is small and below. That's important. And we're not solving. So that's it. We're done. All right, now here we get into some problems that we have to actually like pull out our whiteboard for. So I'm going to do this on my whiteboard and then I'll show you my work. All right, guys, so here's the work that I did for this one. So I changed 64 into 4 to the 3rd to get my common base, and I multiplied my 3's together to make it 4 to the 9th. And then I set my exponents equal to each other. So I think the answer for this one is 14. Well, let's see how we did. All right. And we'll check all of our answers at the end. Okay, this one also needs work, so I'm going to erase my whiteboard and we'll start fresh. Okay, here's my work for this one. So I changed both of these to a base 3. So 3 to the 3rd and 3 squared. And then just make sure on this step right here that you're distributing to the entire exponent. So whenever there's adding or subtracting, make sure you're distributing. And I think the answer is 6. Okay, let's try the next one. Ooh, okay, one more of finding a common base. Now this one, as I'm writing it down, let's talk about it a little bit. So this one's a little weird, right? Because it's 49 and then 2,401. But I know that I can write 49 as 7 to a power. So I'm going to guess that 2,401 is also 7 to a power. So I'm probably just going to type 7, not 7 squared, obviously, because that's 49. But I'll probably type like 7 to the 3rd, 7 to the 4th, 7 to the 5th until I get it to be 2,401. So I'm going to work on that, and then we'll check when we're done. All right, guys. So here's what I got, and it was 7 to the 4th. So then I, kept going, and we did our distributing, and we solved, and then make sure on these problems, especially remember, if it doesn't say that you can round, then you have to leave your answer as a fraction. So I got a simplified fraction, negative 11 over 3. So that's what I'm going to type into the answer bar. Right. Okay, now this is one that has 2 answer lines. So this is one where we need to get our calculator ready one, which is the fraction with the word log written in it twice. And then we also need a decimal answer. Now for your decimal answers, we want to round to 3 numbers after the decimal point. That does not include any numbers that might be in front of the decimal point. And again, you need calculator ready, which is this one. Now, when I'm typing this one in, I like to always type in my fraction bar first. So I like to create the fraction, and then I'll type in everything on the fraction. Okay. And then we use our handy dandy calculator. Now remember that the actual calculator ready part is worth more points than the decimal part. The decimal part is worth like 1 point. You either typed it in right or you didn't. So I am going to be giving the majority of the points for this type of problem for the calculator ready part. So make sure that you have that part correct. That part's more important. There we go. Here's the work again. Okay. So this one again has the 2 answer bars. So make sure that you are getting both of your answers. If you need a calculator on the day of the test and you want me to post one in the chat box, let me know and I can do that for you. I'm almost done with this one. And on this one, you're going to have to do a little bit of dividing, and I know we've had some issues with that, so just make sure that when you're dividing, you don't need to make like a double fraction, just put it on the bottom of the fraction that you already have. So this is my calculator ready form. Again, I like to type in the fraction bar first. I find that easier, just so that I make sure that everything that's supposed to be on top is on top. 6. Look at the -2 is in front of my log, right? And then notice also I didn't do any simplifying. You're never going to simplify this fraction. It's just, it is what it is. Okay. 6. So my calculator, I did log 275 divided by log 6, and now I'm going to divide by the -2. And I got -1.567. That's a fun number. All right, this one's going to be a little bit more intense, so I think I'm going to do my work and then I'll show you what I got when I'm done. All right, so on this one, a little bit more intense because we needed to do a precept. We had to move that 3 over first because it's not part of the exponent form. And then after I moved the 3 over, now I can change it to logarithmic form. And then just remember that for your calculator ready format, you do need to have the x be all by itself. So if you still have stuff with the x, then you're not in calculator ready format. So that was one of the common mistakes that I saw you guys making when we were doing these problems live in class. Okay, so here's my calculator ready format. And then we use our calculator. It's 4, and I got 5.113. Okay, moving right along. This one, okay, this one says what is the value, and it doesn't have 2 answer boxes. So this one, I'm looking for a whole number answer or a fraction answer. So if you remember what a log means 5. What exponent do I put on it to make it a 625? And so maybe you already know the answer. If not, you can do the wheel, and you can do change of base, and then you can find that the answer is 4. All right, let's keep going. Okay, this one also, just what is the value? And there's only the one answer line. So we're looking for a single number, could be a whole number, could be a fraction. In this problem, again, if you really truly understand logs, you should be able to just stare at it and write an answer. Maybe you don't even need any work on this problem. I know I can do this problem without doing any work, but I've been doing this for years. And so my answer is -2. Remember, to make something a fraction, you need a negative exponent. And then 10 squared is 100. All right, we've got one more of these. Again, maybe, if you really truly understand your rules about exponents, this one maybe not, but maybe you can. I don't know. But I'm going to show my work for those of you who need to do work for this problem, and there is no shame in that. Everything is fine if you need to do work. All right, so I got an answer of 3/4. So the fourth root becomes a fraction 1/4, and then you do also need to change the 64 into 4 to the third, and the 3 just becomes the top of the fraction. So I got 3/4 for that one. All right, we got another calculator ready one. So this one, again, you want to make sure that you are writing a fractional answer and then a decimal answer. Now this one does not require any work, it's just change of base. So I'm going to just type it straight in, log of 152 over log of 9. And then I'm going to use my handy calculator to find out what the decimal is. Don't forget, we're doing 3 numbers after the decimal. You can look at the fourth number to see if you need to round. The 2.286. The fourth number was a 4, so I did not round. I just kept it the same. Okay. All right. Now this one we're solving for x, and so I'm going to do my work on my whiteboard, and then I'll show you what I got. Okay, so here's the work that I did. So I did the wheel x to the 2/3 equals 49. And then last chapter we learned that to get rid of a fractional exponent, we do the reciprocal. So I made it 3/2. That's the red writing. And that means that we're going to take the square root of 49 and then raise it to the third power. And that turns into a 343. All right. Here we have another log problem. Again, this one only has the one answer line, so I should be getting a whole number or a fraction. I'm going to go ahead and do this on my whiteboard, and I'll show you when I'm done. All right, guys, here's what I got. So when I changed it to exponential form, it became 243 to the power of 6/5. So I have to take the fifth root of 243. And I had a suspicion that 243 might be 3 to the 5th. So I tried that in my calculator, and it was. So if 243 is 3 to the 5th, that means that the fifth root of 243 is 3. And then 3 to the 6th is 729. Okay. I think we have 2 more problems. I think there were 16 problems on the quiz. So let's do this one. Now this one does not have a base on the log, so don't forget you're going to need to put a little 10 down there so that you can do this problem. I'm going to work this out on my whiteboard, and then I'll show you my answer. Now, we talked about how when there's only one answer line, your answer should be a whole number or a fraction. And in this one, it is a fraction. Make sure you're doing a simplified fraction. So I got 502 over 3. You do not want to write a decimal, especially on this one because it's a never-ending decimal. So, how are you going to type that in? You can't type in a never-ending decimal. It never ends. So make sure you're typing in your answer as a simplified fraction when it has to stay a fraction. All right, we're on our last problem. Let me work this out on my whiteboard, and then I'll show you the answers. Okay, now this one was a little bit different because it had an x squared in it. And so when you have an x squared in the problem, you will need to do some factoring. So in this problem, I made it equal to 0, and then I did some factoring. And because we're doing factoring, we get 2 answers. So my 2 answers are 0 and -7. As soon as you type in the comma, it'll give you that second answer box. Make sure that if you do get 2 answers, that you are submitting both of them. Okay, and then I think we're done with the quiz. So when you're all done with the whole thing, make sure, check here, done, 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 done. If you finished the whole thing, every single problem says done, then you can click show solutions. If you click show solutions before you're done, it's not going to let you finish the quiz. It's going to say, sorry, you already saw the answers and you can't do any more. So make sure that you're clicking on that after. Yes, I'm done. And then there we go. I got a bunch of check marks. That means that I got everything correct. And then you can always click on it and see, sometimes it'll give you helpful hints. Sometimes it'll just show you the correct answer. So lots of different ways that this can be helpful while you're getting ready for our test. And that's it for today.